Hola todos, bienvenidos a mi canal, soy Erika. So in today's video, I will be talking to you about adjectives in Spanish. So you might think that adjectives in Spanish can only go after the noun. However, they can actually go before and after. But being before or after, it will have very different meanings of your sentence. So in today's lesson, we'll start with a quick review of adjectives in case you're new to them. Then we will go on to adjectives after the noun, before the noun, and then a comparison of before and after and how it changes in sentences. So if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like, and let's get started. Alright, entonces, un repaso de adjetivos en español. So, adjetivos. So, an adjective is a word that describes a noun. In Spanish, the adjective will change in accordance to the number and the gender of the noun. So, for example, we can have the word pequeño, okay, that means small. So let's take a look at pequeño with these sentences. So we have una rana, and una rana is a frog. So una rana, and now look at pequeño, pequeña. So the word pequeño, we change the O to an A in order to match the noun right here. Okay, let's look at un perro, which is masculine and singular. Okay, so un perro pequeño. So we can see that they both match. They're both masculine and they're both singular. Okay, so this changes the pequeño to as an O. So un perro pequeño. Now let's look at making the nouns plural. So now we have unas ranas, so some frogs. So then unas ranas pequeñas. So we changed. We just added an S to the end, okay? And it's an AS. So it always needs to match. Unas ranas pequeñas. You see? Now as masculine, it'll be the same thing. So we have unos perros, so it's masculine and plural. Unos perros pequeños. Okay? It all matches. So that's basically with adjectives in Spanish. They need to always have number and gender agreement. All right? So here we can also have some adjectives that are gender neutral. So that means that they don't need to change with an A or the O, but they still need to change with the number of nouns. So here we have una casa grande. Grande is big. So we have una casa grande. Doesn't match with the A, but is perfectly fine because it's singular. Okay, so this is just with gender neutral adjectives. If we're going to make it plural, then it's just like the rest. We're just going to add on the E to the end. So, unas casas grandes, some big houses. Okay? So, just remember that in adjectives in Spanish, you always need to have agreement between the number and the gender of the noun. But with that, let's get started to what adjectives mean when they're placed after the noun. Okay? So, adjectives after the noun. So after the noun, adjectives are usually used to differentiate between an object we are talking about and other objects. So it's used to differentiate, okay? So here we have el perro grande o el perro pequeño. So I'm asking you, which dog? The big dog or the small dog, okay? So it's here we're differentiating between which dog. Okay, here's another example. Es una persona genial y muy simpática. So I'm telling you what type of person she is, like, in comparison to other people. Like, she's really brilliant and she's very kind, okay? So here in this sentence, it's going behind, okay? It's kind of like I'm telling you, like, what she's like and how she's different from other people. Okay, here we have a question. So, ¿te gusta el vino tinto o el vino blanco? So I'm asking you, do you like the red or the white wine? Okay, so it's going after because by saying el vino tinto, I'm just differentiating or specifying which type of wine. Okay, the last one, hay muchas flores rosas en el jardín. So again, I'm saying the color of the flower and I'm specifying which kind in order to differentiate it from other types of flowers. So hay muchas flores rosas en el jardín. There's a lot of pink flowers in the garden. All right. So remember that adjectives after the noun are usually used to differentiate between one object and another, or to specify that specific object, okay? Okay, let's go to a rule now to make things maybe a bit simpler for you. So adjectives that normally only come after the noun. So these types of adjectives usually only come after the noun. So you can use this to remember, okay? So if we're talking about form or shape, so for example, un plato redondo, so a round plate, o un plato cuadrado, so or a square plate. Okay, so that's form and it's coming after the noun, which is un plato, okay? Then we can have state of being. So in my example here, I have una pizza congelada, so a frozen pizza. Una ventana abierta, an open window. That's kind of like a state of being. It's going to come after, okay? Color, una flor rosa, un perro marrón, so like a pink flower, a brown dog. The color is going to go after. Then we have origin, so like where something is from or like the type of thing it is. So I have an example, zapatos italianos or tacos mexicanos, for example. So the type or the origin is coming after. Okay, so these are adjectives that normally come after the noun. So remember, adjectives after the noun are usually used to differentiate. Now let's go to when do we use adjectives before the noun, okay? So adjectives before the noun are usually used to highlight a quality of an object, but not to differentiate it from others. So when we have an adjective before the noun, it's used to highlight that quality, okay? To really, you're putting emphasis on like the adjective, not so much on the noun anymore, okay? So here, tengo un gran apartamento. So if you say this, you're kind of saying like, oh, I have like a really big apartment. The emphasis is on the gran, the big, okay? Here we have this sentence here. La joven chica sabe cómo hacer álgebra. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. So the young girl knows how to do algebra. So we're emphasizing on the fact that this girl is young. So like, oh, the young girl knows how to do algebra. Okay. So here you see the adjectives in front are used to emphasize like the youth or the size of something. Okay, it's used to emphasize. Here we have, oh, como amo mi lindo perro. Like, oh, how I love my cute dog. Okay. So here we're emphasizing, and then here the last one, I have another example. Tengo un nuevo coche. So like, I don't just have a car. I've got a new car, okay? So when the adjective is coming in front of the noun, it's used to highlight and emphasize one of its qualities, okay? Not to differentiate. Okay, so let's, now that you know like when we use each one, remember after is for differentiation, before is for emphasis on the adjective or the quality. Let's go on to some sentences and we'll compare the meanings. So take a look here. Here I have some sentences with the adjective before and the adjective after. Okay, so mi guapo novio versus mi novio guapo. So in English, we'd always say my handsome boyfriend. The first one is saying, oh, mi guapo novio, like, oh my God, my handsome boyfriend. You're emphasizing on the handsome. The second one we can use to differentiate. So, mi novio guapo. So in this sentence, we can only assume like there's one boyfriend from this grammar. But in this one, you could assume that, oh, maybe they have another boyfriend that isn't as handsome. Okay, because remember, this one is used to differentiate. This one here, we're emphasizing how handsome like my one boyfriend is. This one, we're talking about, oh, like my handsome boyfriend, but there could be another. Who knows? Okay, like, this is kind of like the differentiation in the meaning between the two. Okay, let's look this one. La casa grande está en la calle San Cristobal. So the big house is on San Cristobal Street. Okay, versus la gran casa está en la calle de San Cristobal. Okay, so this one here, we're just talking about, oh, like the big house is on San Cristobal Street. There could be, that kind of means, oh, the rest of the houses are probably small in that street. This one here, la gran casa, we're just saying, oh my God, like, you know, the big house. So maybe it's like the biggest one. It stands out for some reason. So la gran casa. Okay, so we have it before. You might be wondering why these two are different. Basically, for the word grande, if it's singular um, and it's coming before, you just don't add the grande, you just leave as gran. But if it's coming after, you leave as grande. This is something I'm probably going to talk about more in depth in another video, but for now, let's just focus on using the adjectives before and after. Okay, here we have another one. Es una amiga buena. So like, yeah, she's a good friend. Or es una buena amiga. Like here, we're just saying she's a good friend. Here, we're saying like, she's like a really good friend. Like there's putting more emphasis on the fact that she's really good, okay? So we can see the meaning is changing. Here, el tigre vicioso, like the vicious tiger. Here, el vicioso tigre. Oh, I highlighted the wrong thing. We're saying like the really vicious tiger. So again, when it's coming in front, it's really emphasizing the adjective. When it's coming after, it's more so like the focus is on the tiger, not on the fact that it's vicious, okay? All right. So I hope this explained it pretty well for you guys. I'll probably be making more videos with more in-depth topics such as these and really deep diving into the Spanish grammar. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video and nos vemos en el próximo. Adiós.